Have you ever found yourself caught in the whirlwind of affection, where the harder you try to capture someone's attention, the farther they seem to drift away? You text, you plan, you overthink every interaction, only to feel like your efforts are met with indifference, or worse, disdain. Why does it seem that the more you care, the less they do? Is it possible to turn this dynamic around without compromising your self-worth or pretending to be someone you're not? Imagine a version of yourself so deeply rooted in confidence and self-assurance that you no longer chase validation or affection. Picture stepping into a room, not as someone hoping to win others over, but as a person whose presence alone commands respect and intrigue. This isn't about playing games or employing cheap tricks. It's about embracing principles rooted in Stoicism and human psychology to build relationships that are healthy, fulfilling, and deeply rewarding. In this video, we're diving into 9 transformative actions that will change not only how you approach relationships, but how you see yourself. These principles are not quick fixes. They are habits that require discipline and self-reflection, but the results are profound. The best part: the most exciting and powerful principle is saved for last, so stick with us, because it's the one that ties everything together. Are you ready to stop trying too hard, start taking control, and become the person others are drawn to effortlessly? Let's begin. 1. Embrace independence. How often do we attack our happiness to someone else, expecting them to complete us or give our lives meaning? This mindset not only creates pressure for the other person, but also robs you of your own strength and individuality. Stoicism, with its focus on self-mastery and internal control, teaches us that our worth should never be dependent on external validation. So what does it mean to truly embrace independence? Independence begins with recognizing that you are whole on your own. Do you have hobbies, passions, or dreams that ignite your spirit outside of your relationships? If not, why? Too often, people pour all their energy into a potential partner, forgetting to nurture the most important relationship of all, the one with themselves. The result? A lopsided dynamic when one person becomes overly reliant and the other feels smothered. And think about it. When was the last time you pursued something purely for yourself? Perhaps it was an art class you always wanted to take, or a fitness goal you wanted to achieve. These pursuits don't just fill your time, they build your confidence and cultivate an aura of self-sufficiency that others find irresistible. When you embrace independence, you send a powerful message. I value myself, and my happiness is not tied to anyone else's actions. This doesn't mean you distance yourself emotionally or refuse to let others in. Instead, it's about creating a life so rich and fulfilling that a partner becomes an addition, not a necessity. This approach aligns beautifully with the Stoic ideal of inner tranquility, where your sense of peace isn't swayed by external circumstances. But here's the challenge. How do you balance independence with the vulnerability that relationships require? Independence isn't about closing yourself off, it's about showing up as a whole person. When you're passionate about your own life, you inspire others to be a part of it, rather than leaning on them for your sense of identity. Consider this scenario. You're dating someone new, and instead of waiting around for their next move, you immerse yourself in your own projects, friendships, and interests. When you do meet, your conversations are enriched by your experiences, and your partner sees you as someone dynamic and engaging. Compare that to someone who spends all their time waiting for a call or planning the next interaction. So which person is more attractive? The one thriving in their independence or the one stuck in limbo? Independence also requires discipline. It's tempting to prioritize a budding relationship over everything else, especially when you're really into someone. But pause and ask yourself, am I sacrificing my own growth for this? Am I neglecting the things that make me, me? A truly fulfilling relationship doesn't diminish your independence, it amplifies it. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "Nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." How often do we seek this retreat, or do we instead rely on others to soothe our restlessness? Stoicism reminds us that true contentment comes from within, not from someone else's attention or affection. Now let's not forget the ripple effect of independence. When you prioritize your growth and passions, you set an example for your partner or a potential partner to do the same. This creates a dynamic where both individuals are bringing their best selves to the table, leading to a stronger, healthier connection. To embrace independence is to declare, I am enough as I am. It's not about proving your worth to someone else, but recognizing it in yourself. So start today. Revisit old hobbies, learn something new, or simply spend time alone without distractions. Build a life that excites you and watches others are naturally drawn to your energy. With your independence as a foundation, you're ready to explore the next transformative habit that will shift the balance of your relationships. Let's talk about the mindset that exudes confidence and fulfillment, even when you're longing for someone's attention. Stay tuned for the next step. 2. Act as if you already have. Now, what if the secret to attracting someone isn't found in chasing them or bending over backward to gain their attention, but in the quiet confidence of already embodying what you seek? This principle might sound counterintuitive, even bold. How can you act as if you already have someone's love or attention when you don't? Isn't that delusional? But here's the truth. It's not about pretending, it's about living in a way that reflects your belief in your own worth. When you act as if you already have, you exude a calm assurance that others find magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who seem self-sufficient, content, and unbothered by the chaos around them. Think about it. When you meet someone who isn't desperately seeking approval or validation, doesn't their confidence make them more intriguing? Here's how you can apply this in your life. Imagine you're at a gathering and someone you're really interested in is there. Most people would scramble to make an impression, telling jokes, constantly trying to start conversations, or hovering awkwardly. But what if instead you walked in with the quiet poise of someone who already knows their value? You enjoy the event, engage naturally with others, and let your presence speak for itself. By doing this, you send a powerful signal. I'm not here to convince anyone of my worth, it speaks for itself. This isn't about arrogance. It's about embodying the traits of someone who is already fulfilled. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. When you reduce your desire for external validation, you cultivate an aura of completeness that draws others in effortlessly. But let's address the elephant in the room. Isn't this just faking it until you make it? Not quite. Acting as if you already have isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about stepping into the best version of yourself. It's about asking, if I already had this person's love or attention, how would I behave? Would I be anxious and overbearing, or would I be calm, confident, and present? Let's take this one step further. In a relationship that has lost its spark, it's tempting to overcompensate by trying harder, planning elaborate dates, sending endless messages, or making grand gestures. But desperation often has the opposite effect, pushing the other person away. Instead, act as if the love you're seeking is already there. Be the confident, attractive version of yourself that they fell for in the first place. Engage in activities that make you happy, independent of your partner. When they see you thriving, it can reignite their admiration and affection. Now, what about those painful situations where you're dealing with an ex or someone who isn't reciprocating your feelings? The instinct might be to prove your worth, to show them how much you've changed, or to make them notice you. But trying too hard only reinforces a narrative of lack, that you need them to feel complete. Instead, act as if you've already moved on. Focus on your growth, your happiness, and your passions. When they see you living a full, vibrant life without them, it may make them realize what they've lost. Acting as if you already have something is a mindset shift that requires practice and patience. Start by visualizing the version of yourself who has what they desire. How do they carry themselves? What choices do they make? How do they treat themselves and others? Practice stepping into this mindset daily, whether you're at work with friends or simply at home. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If you believe you are worthy of love and respect, your actions will naturally align with that belief, and others will begin to see you the same way. So I challenge you, starting today, act as if you already have what you desire. Instead of chasing, embody the qualities that will draw the right people to you. Trust me, the shift is powerful. If this principle resonates with you, let me know in the comments below. How would you act differently if you believed you already had what you wanted? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. And if this message is hitting home for you, take a moment to hit that like button. It's a small action, but it helps others discover this content and take steps toward their own transformation. Stay with me because we're just getting started. Next, we'll explore how letting go of control and creating a little mystery can change everything in your relationships. You don't want to miss this. 3. Detach from outcomes. Why do we so often tie our happiness to the reactions of others? Why do we feel that unless someone reciprocates our feelings or responds in the way we hope, we've somehow failed? The truth is, this mindset creates a cycle of anxiety and disappointment that can consume you, leaving you feeling powerless and unworthy. Detaching from outcomes isn't about giving up, it's about freeing yourself from the burden of control and rediscovering your inner peace. When you pursue someone with the sole focus of achieving a specific result, whether it's their love, attention, or approval, you place all your power in their hands. This not only creates pressure on the other person, but also erodes your own sense of worth. You begin to overanalyze every interaction, questioning their intentions and overthinking your every move. But what if you could step back and let go of that need for control? What if you could trust in the process, allowing things to unfold naturally? Detaching from outcomes means focusing on what you can control, your actions, your values, and your mindset, while letting go of what you cannot. Stoicism teaches us that external events are beyond our control, and it's only our perception of these events that we can govern. Epictetus famously said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Applying this principle to relationships can be transformative. Imagine this scenario. You've just gone on a date that felt perfect to you. You laughed, connected, and left feeling hopeful about what might come next. But instead of replaying the evening in your mind and obsessing over whether they'll text you back, you choose to let it be. You trust that what's meant for you will come, and if they don't reach out, it's not a reflection of your worth. This isn't indifference, it's confidence. It's knowing that your value isn't determined by someone else's response. But detaching from outcomes doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care deeply about the process of becoming the best version of yourself rather than being consumed by the need for a specific result. When you approach relationships from this place of strength, you're no longer weighed down by fear or desperation. Instead, you radiate the kind of calm, grounded energy that others find irresistible. Let's consider another example. Perhaps you're in a long-term relationship and you've been trying to fix an issue that feels beyond your control. The more you push for a resolution, the more your partner seems to pull away. This is where detachment can be incredibly powerful. Instead of forcing a specific outcome, focus on your own actions and growth. How can you show up as your best self regardless of the result? When you shift your energy from controlling the situation to improving yourself, you not only relieve the tension, but also inspire your partner to reflect on their own behavior. Even in situations involving heartbreak or rejection, detachment can be your greatest ally. Letting go doesn't mean you stop loving or hoping. It means you stop clinging. Picture yourself as a tree deeply rooted in the ground. The wind may bend your branches, but it cannot uproot you. This is the resilience that detachment offers. You acknowledge your emotions, but you don't let them control you. Instead, you trust that life has a way of unfolding as it should, even if it's not on your preferred timeline. Now, one of the most challenging aspects of detaching from outcomes is overcoming the fear of what if. What if they don't like me? What if they leave? What if I end up alone? But consider this. Even if your worst fears were realized, would it truly define your worth? Would it erase all the moments of joy and growth you've experienced along the way? Of course not. As Stoic philosopher Seneca said, he suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary. By releasing the weight of these fears, you reclaim your energy for what truly matters, your journey forward. Detachment also creates space for authenticity. When you're not fixated on a specific result, you allow your true self to shine through. You're not performing or trying to fit into someone else's expectations. You're simply being, and that authenticity is one of the most attractive qualities you can possess. As you practice detachment, remind yourself of this. Your happiness is not contingent on someone else's actions or decisions. It is rooted in your own ability to live fully, love openly, and let go of what is beyond your control. This doesn't mean you won't feel disappointment or sadness. They're natural parts of life, but it does mean you'll no longer be defined by them. So the next time you find yourself consumed by the need for a particular outcome, pause. Ask yourself, what is within my control right now? How can I act in alignment with my values and let go of the rest? With time, this practice will become second nature, allowing you to approach relationships with confidence and grace. From here, we move into a concept that complements detachment beautifully, the art of creating space and mystery. When you stop trying to control the outcome, how can you balance this with being selectively available to enhance your presence? Stay with me as we explore this next step. 4. Become unpredictably unavailable. Why does absence often make the heart grow fonder? Why do people seem to value something more when it's not always accessible? The answer lies in human nature. What is abundant is often taken for granted, while what is rare is cherished. When you make yourself unpredictably unavailable, you create a sense of mystery and intrigue, making others appreciate your presence more. This isn't about playing games or being manipulative. It's about understanding the balance between availability and independence. When you're always available, you may unintentionally send the message that your time isn't valuable or that you'll always be there, regardless of how you're treated. Think about it. If you received a gourmet meal every single day, you might start taking it for granted, even if it's exquisite. But if that meal were only available occasionally, wouldn't it feel more special each time you had it? The same principle applies to relationships. Unpredictable unavailability doesn't mean disappearing entirely or ignoring someone to the point of frustration. Instead, it's about creating a dynamic where your presence is valued. Imagine you're in a relationship where you've always been the one to initiate contact, plan dates, and keep the spark alive. Over time, this predictability might become the norm, and your efforts could go unnoticed. By stepping back, perhaps by letting your partner initiate plans or by being less responsive, you create space for them to miss you. It's in this space that appreciation grows. Now, let's explore how this principle works when you're trying to attract someone new. Most people, when they're really interested in someone, respond to messages immediately, make themselves available for every plan, and prioritize the other person above all else. While this eagerness often comes from a place of genuine care, it can sometimes have the opposite effect, making you seem overly available or even desperate. But what if you were different? What if instead of always being the first to text back or rearranging your schedule at the drop of a hat, you took your time? When you're not constantly available, the other person starts to wonder about you. They become curious. Why haven't they responded yet? What are they doing? This sense of mystery draws them in. They begin to value your time and attention because it's not guaranteed, it's something they have to earn. Even in long-term relationships, unpredictably unavailability can reignite a sense of excitement. Relationships often fall into routines, and while stability is important, a touch of unpredictability can keep the connection alive. For example, if you're usually the one who organizes weekend plans, take a step back and let your partner take the lead. If you're always the one to send the goodnight text, skip a night and let them reach out first. These small shifts can create a dynamic where your partner feels more engaged and invested. But how do you implement this without coming across as cold or disinterested? The key lies in balance. You don't want to create frustration by being unavailable all the time. Instead, mix things up. Sometimes respond to a message right away, and other times take your time. Occasionally suggest plans, but also leave room for them to initiate. The unpredictability is what keeps things intriguing. It's not about withholding affection, but about creating moments where your absence is felt and your presence is cherished. The principle also applies to friendships and professional relationships. Overcommitting to others can lead to being taken for granted. By setting boundaries and being selective about where you invest your time, you teach others to value your contributions and presence. Unpredictable unavailability isn't about manipulation, it's about respecting yourself and your time. It's about maintaining your independence and ensuring that your relationships are built on mutual appreciation. As Stoicism teaches, the most valuable things in life are those that require effort and intention. When your time and attention are treated as valuable, the people in your life will respond with greater respect and care. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Reflect on this. Are you spending your time in ways that enrich your life and your relationships? Or are you overextending yourself, giving more than is appreciated or reciprocated? By becoming selectively unavailable, you reclaim your time and create space for deeper connections. The beauty of unpredictably unavailability is that it often encourages others to step up. When you're not always there to fill the gaps, people start to realize your value and make more effort to connect with you. It's a natural shift that fosters healthier dynamics, built on mutual respect. As you begin to practice this principle, you'll notice a change not only in how others perceive you, but also in how you perceive yourself. By valuing your own time and presence, you reinforce your sense of self-worth. And when you carry yourself with this quiet confidence, others can't help but be drawn to you. From here, we move into another vital principle: the importance of living by your own values rather than seeking approval from others. This next step builds on your newfound and independence and reinforces the strength that comes from knowing who you are. Let's explore it together. 5. Live by your principles, not by approval. Have you ever caught yourself agreeing to something you didn't truly believe in, simply to avoid conflict or gain someone's favor? Or perhaps you've bent your own values just to fit in or impress someone you admire. It might feel like a small compromise at the moment, but over time, these choices chip away at your sense of self. So what if, instead of seeking approval, you focused on living by your principles, no matter the situation or audience? Living by your principles is one of the most powerful ways to show self-respect and integrity. When you stand firm in your values, you send a clear message to the world. I know who I am, and I'm not afraid to be that person. This kind of confidence is not only rare but deeply attractive. People are drawn to those who have the courage to stand for something, even when it's inconvenient or unpopular. Consider this scenario. You're dating someone new, and they suggest something that goes against your beliefs or priorities. Maybe they want to skip an important event in your life or encourage you to take a shortcut you're uncomfortable with. So the easy route would be to go along with it, to keep the peace or avoid the risk of upsetting them. But what happens when you stand your ground? What happens when you calmly but firmly say, "This is important to me, and I need to honor it"? It might surprise them at first, but ultimately it will earn their respect. Why? Because people admire those who live authentically. When you stay true to your values, you prove that your self-worth isn't dependent on someone else's approval. You show that you have the strength to prioritize what matters most, even when it's hard. This idea is central to Stoicism. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Living by your principles requires discipline, but it also creates a sense of inner peace. You don't have to second-guess your choices or wonder if you're betraying yourself for someone else's sake. And instead, you can move forward with clarity and purpose, knowing that your actions align with your beliefs. But what happens when standing by your principles leads to conflict or rejection? This is where true strength comes in. Living authentically doesn't mean you'll always be liked or understood. In fact, there will be times when your values clash with someone else's expectations. But ask yourself this: would you rather be liked for someone you're pretending to be or respected for who you truly are? Think about the relationships that matter most to you. Are they built on mutual respect and shared values, or are they shaped by the need to please and avoid conflict? Relationships built on approval-seeking are fragile because they're not rooted in authenticity. On the other hand, connections formed through honesty and integrity are resilient, even when challenges arise. Living by your principles doesn't mean being inflexible or dismissive of others. It means having a clear sense of what you stand for while remaining open to growth and understanding. For example, if a disagreement arises, you can hold your ground without belittling the other person's perspective. This approach not only fosters healthier relationships, but also deepens your self-respect. Now take a moment to reflect. What are the principles you hold most dear? Have you ever compromised them for the sake of approval? If so, how did that make you feel? If you've ever stood firm in your values, how did that decision impact your sense of self? Sharing your experiences in the comments can be incredibly powerful, not just for you, but for others who are navigating similar challenges. As you practice living by your principles, you'll notice a shift in your relationships. The people who truly value you will appreciate your honesty and strength. Those who don't, they may drift away, but that's okay. As the saying goes, what meant for you will never pass you by. By staying true to yourself, you create space for connections that are authentic and lasting. If this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. What's one principle you're committed to living by, no matter what? And if you found value in this discussion, take a moment to like this video. It helps us build a community of people dedicated to growth and self-mastery. Next, we'll explore a communication habit that's as simple as it is powerful: listening first and speaking last. This practice not only transforms your interactions, but also deepens the respect and connection you share with others. Stay tuned for this vital step. 6. Always be the last to speak. So why do we feel the need to fill silence so quickly in conversations? Is it out of a fear of discomfort, or perhaps the urge to prove our point? Whatever the reason, this tendency often leads us to miss what others are truly saying. By learning to be the last to speak, you can transform the way people perceive and connect with you. Being the last to speak doesn't mean withholding your thoughts or disengaging. Instead, it's about creating space for others to express themselves fully before you respond. This approach signals patience, respect, and confidence, traits that naturally foster trust and admiration. Think about the last meaningful conversation you had. Was it one where you felt truly heard, or one where the other person was simply waiting for their turn to reply? Imagine you're in a discussion with someone you admire, whether it's a romantic interest, a friend, or a colleague. Instead of jumping in with your perspective, you take the time to truly listen. You observe their tone, their choice of words, and their emotions. By the time it's your turn to speak, you've not only gathered valuable insights, but also demonstrated your attentiveness. This practice isn't always easy. When emotions run high, the urge to interrupt or defend your position can feel overwhelming. But silence, when used thoughtfully, can be your greatest ally. A well-timed pause allows you to process your thoughts and choose your words with intention. It also gives the other person space to feel understood, a gift that deepens any relationship. Consider how this principle aligns with Stoicism. The Stoics often emphasize the importance of measured speech. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be silent or let your words be worth more than silence." Speaking last ensures that your words carry weight, not just noise. Even in disagreements, being the last to speak can diffuse tension and foster mutual understanding. Picture a heated argument where both parties are speaking over each other, neither truly listening. Now imagine taking a different approach. You let the other person finish, nodding to show you're engaged, and then respond with clarity and calm. This shift not only de-escalates the situation but also earns you respect for your composure. As you practice being the last to speak, you'll notice a change in the dynamics of your conversations. People will begin to seek your input more, valuing your thoughtful contributions. This habit isn't about holding power over others, it's about creating meaningful, respectful exchanges where both parties feel valued. 7. Detach from outcomes. Why do we pin so much of our happiness on results that are beyond our control? Is it because we believe that achieving a specific outcome will finally make us feel whole? This mindset is not only exhausting but also a recipe for perpetual dissatisfaction. Detaching from outcomes is one of the most liberating habits you can cultivate. When you fixate on a particular outcome, whether it's earning someone's affection, resolving a conflict, or achieving a goal, you place your sense of worth in external circumstances. This not only creates anxiety, but also makes you vulnerable to disappointment. Detachment, on the other hand, allows you to focus on what you can control: your actions, your intentions, and your mindset. Picture this. You've sent a heartfelt message to someone you care about, hoping for a specific response. Instead of anxiously waiting for their reply, you shift your focus. You remind yourself that you've done your part by expressing your feelings honestly, and now the outcome is out of your hands. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. Stoicism teaches us that external events are beyond our control, and it's our reaction to them that determines our peace of mind. Epictetus captured this beautifully. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Detaching from outcomes doesn't make you indifferent. It makes you resilient. You can face rejection or setbacks without losing your sense of self. This principle is particularly valuable in relationships. When you detach from the need to control how someone responds to you, you create space for authenticity. Your interactions become less about achieving a specific result and more about enjoying the connection as it unfolds. Ironically, this relaxed, confident approach often draws people closer to you. Detachment also fosters patience. In a world of instant gratification, waiting for something to unfold naturally can feel excruciating. But when you trust the process, you allow relationships to develop at their own pace, often leading to deeper, more meaningful connections. Finally, detaching from outcomes helps you focus on your own growth. Instead of obsessing over how someone else feels about you, you invest your energy in becoming the best version of yourself. This shift in perspective not only enhances your sense of self-worth, but also makes you more attractive to others. Letting go of attachment to outcomes doesn't mean abandoning your goals or desires. It means approaching them with grace and flexibility, trusting that what's meant for you will find its way to you. In doing so, you reclaim your power and find peace in the present moment. As we move forward, let's explore a practice that complements detachment beautifully: the art of preparing for life's uncertainties through the power of visualization. Stay with me as we dive into this next transformative step. 8. Practice negative visualization. Now, why do we spend so much of our lives fearing what might go wrong? Could it be that our avoidance of discomfort only makes us more vulnerable when the unexpected happens? So what if, instead of running from our fears, we face them head on and use them to cultivate strength, gratitude and resilience. This is the essence of negative visualization, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Negative visualization involves imagining the loss of something or someone you deeply value. At first, this might sound counterproductive or even grim. Why focus on the possibility of losing what you love? But here's the paradox. By confronting the worst-case scenarios in your mind, you diminish their power over you. Instead of being paralyzed by fear, you build mental and emotional strength. And perhaps most importantly, you learn to cherish what you have while it's still yours. Imagine you're deeply invested in a new relationship. You're captivated by this person, and your mind races with thoughts of a future together. But with those hopes come anxieties. What if they leave? What if it doesn't work out? These fears can drive you to act out of desperation or insecurity, undermining the very connection you're trying to build. Now picture a different approach. You sit quietly and allow yourself to visualize life without them. How would you cope? What steps would you take to move forward? By preparing yourself mentally for this possibility, you not only lessen your fear of it, but also gain clarity about what you truly value in the relationship. And here's the surprising part. When you let go of that fear, you're free to show up authentically and fully in the present moment. Seneca, one of the great Stoic thinkers, encouraged this practice as a way to build inner fortitude. He wrote, "He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary." By imagining potential losses, you inoculate yourself against panic and regret. You're no longer at the mercy of what-ifs, because you've already confronted them and emerged stronger. This principle applies not only to relationships but to every area of life. Think about your career, your health, or even your daily routines. What if you lost your job? What if a cherished routine was disrupted? Negative visualization helps you prepare not with fear, but with calm readiness. It teaches you to appreciate what you have, even as you acknowledge its impermanence. Gratitude is a natural byproduct of this practice. When you envision life without the things or people you love, you gain a deeper appreciation for them in the here and now. It's a subtle but profound shift. Instead of taking things for granted, you treasure them. How many times have we realized the value of something only after it's gone? Negative visualization challenges us to reverse that pattern. Let's bring this back to relationships. Imagine you've been in a relationship for a while, and the initial spark has faded. Instead of focusing on what's lacking, take a moment to visualize life without your partner. Consider the things you would miss, their laugh, their quirks, their presence in your daily life. This exercise doesn't just prepare you for the possibility of loss, it renews your sense of gratitude and affection. Now let me ask you, what's one thing or one person in your life that you would miss deeply if it were gone? How would you feel if you could no longer experience the moments you often overlook? Share your reflections in the comments. By doing so, you're not only deepening your own awareness, but also inspiring others to practice gratitude in their lives. If this concept resonates with you, let me know by liking this video. It's a small gesture, but one that supports this message and helps others discover the transformative power of Stoicism and negative visualization. Together, we can build a community rooted in strength, gratitude, and resilience. Stay with me because our next habit explores how even the smallest of gestures, a simple smile, can shift your mindset and transform how you navigate life's challenges. You won't want to miss this. 9. Smile during difficult moments. Now, what if in the face of life's challenges you chose to smile? Would it make you weak, pretending that everything is fine? Or would it reveal an inner strength that nothing external can shake? Smiling during difficult moments isn't about denial or superficial positivity, it's about choosing resilience. It's about showing yourself and the world that your spirit remains unbroken, no matter what life throws your way. In moments of difficulty, our instinct is often to tense up, to frown, or even to lash out. These reactions are natural, but they also reflect a sense of defeat. By contrast, a smile, even a small, subtle one, signals composure. It says, "I am in control of how I respond, even if I cannot control the situation." This habit draws directly from the core principles of Stoicism. The Stoics believe that external events are beyond our control and that true strength lies in mastering our reactions. As Epictetus advised, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. A smile in the face of adversity becomes a declaration of that mastery, a reminder that your inner world is yours alone to govern. Imagine facing a tough situation, such as a disagreement with someone you care about. The conversation becomes heated, and emotions are running high. it would be easy to let anger or frustration dictate your actions. But what if instead you paused, took a deep breath, and smiled? That simple act can diffuse tension and shift the energy of the interaction. It communicates calmness and a willingness to navigate the challenge with grace. Or consider a moment when you received disappointing news, perhaps a rejection, a setback, or an unexpected obstacle. The weight of it threatens to pull you down, but instead of succumbing to despair, you choose to smile. This doesn't mean the pain or disappointment vanishes, but it reframes your mindset. So smile becomes a symbol of your resilience, a reminder that no single moment defines your journey. Smiling during hardship also has a surprising effect on your own state of mind. Research has shown that the physical act of smiling can release endorphins, lifting your mood even when you're not feeling particularly joyful. It's a feedback loop. Your smile influences your emotions, which in turn strengthens your resolve. But let's be clear, this isn't about faking happiness or suppressing your feelings. It's about acknowledging the difficulty while choosing how you respond. A smile doesn't erase pain, but it transforms how you carry it. Instead of being overwhelmed, you stand tall, facing life with courage and dignity. Think about the people in your life who inspire you. Are they the ones who crumble under pressure, or the ones who face adversity with quiet strength? Their ability to maintain composure often makes them a source of stability for others. When you cultivate this habit, you become that source, not just for others but for yourself. In relationships, smiling during difficult moments sends a powerful message. It shows that you're committed to finding solutions, not getting lost in conflict. It signals maturity and a willingness to rise above pettiness or blame. Whether you're navigating a tough conversation with a partner, coping with misunderstandings, or simply enduring the challenges of daily life, your ability to smile reflects a grounded, steady presence. This habit is also a profound form of self-respect. By choosing to smile, you affirm your belief in your own strength. You remind yourself that no matter what happens, you are capable of weathering the storm. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. A smile becomes a physical manifestation of that philosophy, a small but mighty way to shape your mindset and reclaim your peace. Smiling during difficult moments isn't about minimizing your struggles or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to face life's challenges with grace, to hold on to your composure, and to remind yourself of the power within you. The next time you find yourself in a moment of difficulty, try it. Breathe deeply and let a small smile emerge. You may be surprised by the shift it creates, not just in how others see you, but in how you see yourself. Now that we've explored the power of resilience through a simple smile, we turn to the final habit, a practice that ties all of these principles together. It's about cultivating patience, the ultimate virtue in building meaningful relationships and navigating life's unpredictable rhythms. Let's dive into this final step. 10. Be patient. Why is patience so difficult, yet so essential? In a world that thrives on instant gratification, waiting for anything, whether it's a response from someone, the resolution of a conflict, or the blossoming of a relationship, can feel unbearable. But patience is not just about waiting, it's about how you wait. It's about maintaining your calm and your confidence, trusting that the right things will come at the right time. Patience is the ultimate act of faith in yourself and in life. It says, I am willing to let things unfold naturally without forcing or rushing. This doesn't mean you stop caring or take a passive approach. It means you focus on what you can control, your actions, your attitude, while releasing your grip on the timeline of outcomes. In relationships, patience is a superpower. Imagine you've just met someone you really like. The spark is there and you're excited about where things might lead. The temptation might be to accelerate the connection, sending multiple texts, planning frequent dates, or pushing for labels. But relationships, like all meaningful things, need time to grow. Rushing not only puts unnecessary pressure on the other person, but also denies you the chance to let the connection deepen naturally. Consider this. When you plant a seed, do you stand over it, willing it to grow faster? Of course not. You water it, give it sunlight, and trust that it will grow in its own time. Relationships are much the same. Patience allows you to enjoy the process instead of fixating on the destination. It creates space for both people to explore, learn, and connect without feeling overwhelmed. Patience also plays a vital role in resolving conflicts. In moments of disagreement, the urge to fix it now can lead to rash decisions or heated arguments. But what if, instead of demanding an immediate resolution, you gave yourself and the other person time to process? Stepping back, breathing deeply, and allowing emotions to settle often leads to clearer communication and better outcomes. This principle aligns beautifully with Stoicism, which emphasizes the importance of accepting what we cannot control. As Seneca wrote, "Time discovers truth." By exercising patience, you give time the chance to reveal what is meant to be, without forcing it into existence. Even when things don't seem to be moving as quickly as you'd like, patience allows you to focus on the present moment. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to become the best version of myself? How can I invest in my growth while waiting for the things I hope for? By shifting your energy inward, you not only make the waiting more meaningful, but also position yourself as someone who is self-assured and fulfilled. Patience is also a test of trust in yourself, in the other person, and in the natural rhythm of life. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that if something isn't happening immediately, it won't happen at all. But the most meaningful connections and experiences often take time to develop. When you rush, you risk missing the richness of the journey. Think about a time in your life when patience paid off. Maybe it was waiting for a job opportunity that turned out to be the perfect fit. Or perhaps it was allowing a relationship to grow slowly, only to find that it became deeper and more fulfilling than you could have imagined. These moments remind us that the best things in life are often worth the wait. But let's be honest, patience isn't always easy. It requires discipline, self-awareness, and the willingness to let go of control. In moments of impatience, try grounding yourself with a simple question. Am I focused on what I can control, or am I trying to force what I cannot? This reflection can help you regain your composure and redirect your energy toward what truly matters. As you cultivate patience, you'll notice its ripple effects in every area of your life. You'll become more centered, more confident, and more at peace with uncertainty. And others will sense this steadiness in you, making you a magnet for genuine, meaningful connections. Patience is not just a virtue, it's a strength. It's the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth and trusts that what is meant for them will arrive in its own time. So the next time you find yourself feeling impatient, pause, breathe, and remind yourself that great things take time. We've journeyed through 10 transformative habits that can change how you approach relationships and, more importantly, how you see yourself. Each principle, embracing independence, acting with confidence, detaching from outcomes, practicing gratitude, and more, offers a path to becoming someone who attracts respect and connection effortlessly. But remember, these habits are not quick fixes. They require practice, patience, and a commitment to growth. As you start to apply them, you'll notice a shift, not just in how others perceive you, but in the way you carry yourself. You'll find a deeper sense of peace, strength, and fulfillment, no longer chasing what isn't yours, but attracting what is. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these habits resonates most with you? Have you already started applying some of them in your life? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And if you found value in this discussion, consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more insights on mastering relationships and embracing the principles of Stoicism. Thank you for taking the time to invest in yourself and your growth. Remember, you are capable, strong, and worthy of the best connections life has to offer. Wishing you clarity, confidence, and lasting joy as you continue this journey. Until next time, take care.